explaining to you guys the difference between the old version SketchUp and the newer version SketchUp. Now look, this is the older version sketch that you have, and this is the newer version which you have. Now, in your newer version, you guys have a bunch of new stuff. What all are they? Number one, you can see all your templates right in front. Second thing, you have an option called open file, where you can open your file straight away from here. Whereas in the older version SketchUp, you'll have to go to file, open it and all. Thirdly, you have a thing called recent files over here, where you can find all the recent files that you worked on. Okay. Whereas none of those options are available for the older version SketchUp. In the older version SketchUp, all you can do is just click on choose template, and then you can choose any template that you can see over here. Okay. This is all in the welcome to SketchUp interface difference. Now I will choose any template that I like. Now you guys can choose any template, but just keep two things in mind. Number one, if you guys are working centimeters, meters and all, choose architectural centimeters, meters, etc. But if you guys are working in feet and inches, choose architectural inches. Okay. Why, I'll explain. Now, for now, you guys can choose architectural inches. And also in the newer version SketchUp, you have an option where you can set it as default. Now, let's say you guys use inches, click over here to set it as default. Now I use in centimeters, so I'll just click on centimeters and I'll open the file and I'll show you. Now, first thing what I'll do is I'll make the SketchUp look like your windows. Now, 1 second. Now look, for everyone, this is how your SketchUp interface is gonna look like. Okay, you'll have a bunch of tools at the top and your default tray. So first, before starting the class, what I want everyone to do is I want everyone to go to view. Go to view, select toolbars. Okay. After you select toolbars over here, I just want you guys to make sure you select three tools. Number one, large tool set. Number two, shadows. Thirdly, the views. Select all those three toolbars and tick over here. And once you guys are done with it, please inform me and I can proceed with class. I will just write it over here. I want you guys to go to view, toolbars, and then select large tool set, shadows and views. Okay. So when you guys are done, just give me a thumbs up so I know you guys are done. Okay, perfect. Okay, done. Okay. Is everyone done? Okay, I'm assuming everyone is done.
Sir, please say again.
Yeah, you see over here in your screen, go to view, toolbars. Let's choose your large tool set, shadows and views. That's all. Okay. Now, once you guys are done with that, you'll have three toolbars floating around in your screen. Okay. So what you can do is either you can double click over here and it'll get placed, or left click, hold it and drag it to a corner like this, and you can place it over here. Double click or left click, hold it and drag. Anything will do. Okay.
So can I please share the screen again?
The screen is shared. I think you will have to restart your net once again, Chandan. Think it must be your net issue. You will have to restart it again and then you'll be able to see my screen. Okay.
No, 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 no. It's not. You have not shared your screen now.
I have shared my screen.
I
Everyone
could
else
not.
can
I
see
can. I
it.
can see your face.
I have shared my screen. Then it must be because you have it. You have my face pinned or something. You'll have to select my screen and double click, and you'll be able to see your screen better.
Okay. Sorry,
Okay,
got it.
no problem. Okay, guys. Now, once you've done all this, okay, you've arranged the three toolbars. The reason I'm asking guys to choose these three toolbars is because this is how I'll be teaching you in this format. I'll explain to you all about these tools, okay, in the coming classes. And then later on, only I'll explain to you how to install plugins and how to get started with plugins and all of that. Now, once you have done this, next I'll teach you guys about your default tray. As you can see, your default tray over here, you can expand it if you want, you can minimize it, but this is the maximum you can minimize it. Now, since it occupies a lot of your screen space, if you want, you can just click on close over here, it will go. If you want it back, go to window, default tray, press show tray, and then your default tray is back. Okay. Now look, right next to your close button, you have another option called auto hide. If you click over there, do you see your default tray will get hidden on the right side? Now, if you want it back, all you have to do is move your mouse slowly, bring it over here, and then as you can see, your default tray is back on your screen. Okay. If you click over here, it'll get hidden. Just bring your mouse and you'll see your default tray. This way you can save a lot of screen space at the same time. You don't have to keep going to window, default tray, press show tray all the time. It'll be hidden in this right side corner. Just click on this pin and for now I'll leave it unhidden because I'll need to explain it to you guys. But other than this, the interface part of it is done. Now we'll move on to the first set of navigation tools. Now look guys, every tool over here has a name. Okay. So right now the first set of tools that we learn is about the navigation tools. As you can see over here, these are the 6 tools. Now how to work with them, I'll just show you. I'll just open a model and let's say press open. Yeah. So with this being said, now you have a model open. So first what I'll explain is how to work with your keyboard and mouse first before explaining all the tools. If you guys have a keyboard and a mouse and your mouse has a middle mouse button, okay, then you can use the following options. Okay, first one, to orbit around your model, you just have to press and hold your middle mouse button and then you can orbit left or right. Okay, press and hold your middle mouse button, you can orbit left or right. All you have to do is keep dragging and you can orbit around your model like this. To pan, all you have to do is press and hold your shift button, press and hold your middle mouse button, and then you can pan around your model like this. Okay. Press your shift, press and hold your middle mouse button, and then you can pan around your model like this. Next, if you scroll upwards, you can zoom in. If you scroll backwards, you can zoom out. These are the 4 simple things you can do just with your keyboard and mouse. If you guys have understood this, now let's say a situation comes where you guys don't have a mouse. How will you work in SketchUp? Or if you guys are using your laptop's touchpad, how will you do? Or how will you work with it? Now look, the orbit tool has a shortcut key. The shortcut key is O. If you press O, the orbit tool has been activated. Now, once it's activated, just left click and drag. As you can see over here, you can orbit around your model. Left click, drag left or drag right, any way you like. It can orbit around the model. O is the shortcut for orbit. Next is your pan tool. The shortcut for your pan tool is H. If you press H, the pan tool is activated. And you see, if you left click and drag left, right, up, down, any way, you can pan around your model. Okay. Shortcut is H. Third tool is zoom. Press Z and your zoom tool is activated. And then left click and drag forward to zoom in. Left click and drag backwards to zoom out. Z is the shortcut for your zoom. Then the next one is zoom window. Now, if like, what does zoom window do? Let's say you guys are somewhere far out over here. You quickly want to zoom in, let's say to this sofa portion. What will you do? You will press Control plus Shift plus W. Your zoom window has been activated. Now just left click, hold it and drag it towards your right, and there you go. In a second, you have zoomed in quickly. Once again, I'll repeat. If you guys want to quickly zoom into a portion, press Control Shift plus W, left click, hold it and drag anyway, and you see you can quickly zoom into that position. Now, if you can quickly zoom in, then of course you can quickly zoom out too, right? To quickly zoom out, you just have to press Control Shift E and you can zoom out quickly. Control plus Shift plus E, you can zoom out quickly. Okay. So to zoom in, you use zoom window. To zoom out quickly, you use zoom extends. Shortcut is Control plus Shift plus W for zoom window, Control plus Shift plus E for your zoom extend. And the last one is previous. Now, what is your previous? This is not your undo button, but what does it do? It goes back to all the zoomed position. Okay, up to 5 steps backward. See, every time wherever I've zoomed in, it will just go back 5 places like that. If you click on your previous button, there is no shortcut key for your previous tool. Just click over here and you'll go back to all your previous zooms. Okay. And with that, the first 6 main navigation tools is done. Next, we'll learn about 2 more tools. Now, guys, these are not part of your navigation tools, but they do help you in navigation in a way. So we'll see how it works. First one is position camera. There is no shortcut for your position camera. Press position camera, you will see a human with 2 red arrows pointing left and right. Okay. Now what happens? Look, I'll press position camera. I'll click at a point and do you see what happens? It will get positioned over there. Simple as that. Press position camera, click anywhere, it gets positioned over there. Okay. Now, another thing, if you press position camera, if you click and if you start dragging it, you see what happens? You can decide how or which angle you want it to look at. Right now, my surface is flat. Had it had a little bit more depth, it would have come perfectly. Now look, I'll press my position camera, click on a point. If I drag it like this, then my view will also get adjusted that way. Now if I want to place it like this, click and drag it forward and you see my view will also get adjusted like that. Otherwise, normally what do? We'll just click on position camera, click at a surface and you see it'll get placed. Now, if you guys are, let's say, looking over here at this way and you're positioning your camera somewhere like this, you see your camera angle also faces to that side. So that is when, if you want to look on this side, what will you use now? You will use your look around tool. And that is the next tool you'll see right next to your position camera. As soon as you click your position camera and you position yourself somewhere, the next thing you guys will notice is not the arrow key, but an eye symbol. And that eye symbol is called your look around tool. Now, what does the look around tool do? If you left click and drag, you see you can look around the object. Now, the best part about your look around tool is if you are fixed onto a position, it will not change the position and then you can look around like this anyway, up, down, left, right, etc. That is your look around tool. Now you guys might be thinking, now what is the difference between orbit tool and look around tool, right? I'll show you that with an example. Sorry. Now let's say I'm inside this kitchen. Okay. I quickly want to look behind. I'll press the look around tool, left click drag, and you see I can quickly look around what is happening right behind. Whereas if I use my orbit tool, I'll have to first orbit. And when you orbit, at times, the chances that you guys float into or fly into some wall or some nearby block is very high. So you'll have to press orbit and then press pan, orbit, pan, orbit, pan. You'll have to keep doing that like this to correctly move around and look on the other side. So you see, look around tool is very helpful that way. Just click and immediately you can just turn around Then maybe adjust your camera any way you like. Whereas orbit tool will take much more time. You'll have to orbit, pan, keep doing that process. Only then will you be able to rotate it around. And it's still difficult if you're using it inside of a very cramped space. So that's the different. Whereas your orbit tool works very well when it's on the exterior. Let's say if you want to see around your model like this quickly, you can just use your orbit tool. See, so that is all the difference between your orbit and your look around tool. Now with this guys, we've completed the first 6 navigation tools and 2 more other tools. Does anyone have any doubt? If you guys have no doubt, okay, perfect. If no one has a doubt, then we'll proceed on to the next topic. Now the next topic that we learned today is about your rectangle tool. The next topic is about your rectangle tool. Now what is the shortcut for your rectangle tool? The shortcut for your rectangle tool is R. If you press R, the rectangle tool has been activated. Now look, I'll click on a point. I'll slowly start dragging it. I'll click on my second point. That's it. A rectangle is drawn. Very simple. Click on a point, slowly start dragging it. Click on the second point. Your rectangle has been drawn. Now look, what if you want to draw a rectangle of a particular size? You will press R. You will click on your first point. You'll slowly start dragging it. Now, without clicking on your second point, you will enter the value. Where will you enter the value? You don't have to click anywhere. Just type in the value. I'll type in 400, comma 600, and I'll press enter. Do you see what happens? A rectangle of that size has been drawn. Now, if you guys are working in feet and inches, you can change your units also. How can you do that? Now look over here, guys. To change your units, you will go to window, select model info, and in model info on the left side, go at the bottom, choose units. After that, you will change your format, let's say from decimal to architectural. So that way you guys can work in feet and inches correctly. Just change it from decimal to architectural. And now look, I will start drawing a rectangle. I'll click on a point. I'll start dragging it. Now without clicking on my second point, you see what I'm about to do. I will type in 10 feet, comma, let's say 25 feet, 8 inches. Now look at the right side bottom, guys, of my screen. You see a dimensions bar. Over there, you see how I've written feet and inches. For 10 feet, I just wrote 10 feet. I did not type 10 feet, 0 inches. I wrote 10 feet, comma, then 25 feet, 8 inches. After I wrote that value, I will just press enter button and now I will have a rectangle of that same size. Okay. So this is how you do in feet and inches. Next, if you guys click on the rectangle tool, click at a point and you start dragging it. Okay. So we know we can enter a value and draw a rectangle, correct? So it's very easy for you guys to draw a square also of that size. You can just type in a value, let's say 5 feet by 5 feet, it's a square. Otherwise, you can also do something else, guys. Look, click on a point, slowly start dragging it, and try making your rectangle look like a square. You don't have to do anything, just adjust the mouse and make it look like a square. Immediately, SketchUp will understand you're trying to make it look like a square. And what does it do? It shows a dotted diagonal line across your rectangle. So that means it has understood you are trying to make it look like a square. After that, just press and hold your shift button and start dragging it. See, the aspect ratio is fixed. And now you guys can draw a rectangle, I mean a square of any size or any height, any scale you want. Okay. Now, once again, I'll show you. Click at a point, start making it look like a square. Once it looks like a square, just press your shift button, press and hold it, and then drag. Now you can draw a square. One more thing with your rectangle tool. You press R. Okay. You click at a point. Normally, how does a rectangle, how is it drawn? You start at one edge, it'll get over at the other edge. Correct? But look, if you click over here, you start moving it. Now, without clicking on the second edge, if you press Control, do you see what happens? Now your rectangle starts exactly from the center. Press Control again, it will start edge to edge. I'm just pressing the Control button and you see the position of my rectangle is changing. It will either start from the center or it will start from edge to edge. Okay. Now this is the last way of drawing a rectangle. And with that, guys, you're done with the rectangle tool. Does anyone have any doubts? Yes, Likit.
Yes, sir, can you explain the square thing?
The square thing.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Now look, to draw in a square, all you have to do is press R, click at a point, start making your rectangle look like a square. You should itself feel it looks like a square. Only then will SketchUp understand you're trying to make it look like a square. And then it will mention in a small box over there, square. Then just press your shift button and you can drag it. See, the scale is fixed. That is all. Anyone else? Any doubts? No, right? Okay, perfect. Now with that, guys, we'll move on to the next tool. The next tool that we learn is about your selection tool. The shortcut for your selection tool is space bar. Now see, I'll just draw a rectangle first. Okay. Next, I want to push pull this or extrude this from this rectangle. What will I do? I will press P. P is the shortcut for your push pull. Press P. Your push pull has been activated. Click at this point. Slowly start moving it upwards. Click it again. And there you go. You have an extrusion made from a rectangle. Simple as that. Press P. Click at a point. Raise it to a height. Left click again. Your push pull has been done. Okay. Now, there are three types of selections. Okay, I'll explain the first type of selection. Now look, if I click once, only the surface gets selected. If I double click, the surface along with the edges get selected. If I triple click, the whole block gets selected. Once again, I'll repeat. I click once, the surface only gets selected. I double click, the surface along with the edges get selected. I triple click, everything gets selected. Okay, this is your first kind of selection. Next, what if you want to select multiple surfaces? If you press and hold your control button and you click on multiple surfaces, do you see all those surfaces gets added? Normally, if you click on a surface, click on the second surface, the other one gets deselected. But if you press and hold your control button, left click, and you see you can add multiple surfaces like this. You can also add lines along with it. Okay. If you can select multiple surfaces, then you can also deselect them, right? To deselect them, all you have to do is press and hold your shift button and then left click. You can deselect all of them. Press and hold your shift button. You can deselect them like this. Okay. Now there's one more thing also you guys need to remember. If you press your shift button, you can do both actually. You can select a surface and you can deselect them also. If you press control, you can only add surfaces, but if you press shift, you can both deselect and select them. So this is your second type of selection tool. Now, last one. Look, guys. If you left click, hold your left click and drag towards your right, you have a filled rectangle box. If you left click, hold it and drag towards your left, you have a dotted rectangle box. Okay. Now, what is the difference? If I left click, hold it and drag towards my left, do you see what happens? Everything the box touches, the dotted box touches, the lines, the surface, or the edges, everything gets selected. Left click and drag left, the dotted box appears, and when you touch it, anything the box is touching will get selected. But if you left click and drag towards your right side, okay, and when the filled box appears and now you leave, do you see what happens? Only the portion inside, which is inside the box, gets selected. Okay, now that is the two different kind of selections. Right click, drag right, or right click and drag left. No, sorry, right click, left click and drag left, or left click and drag right. Okay. Does anyone have any doubt? Clear to everyone? Okay. I'm assuming it's clear to everyone. So now I'll move on to the next topic. Now, just 1 second, guys. Now, next thing that I will teach you is about your paint bucket tool. Now look, the paint bucket tool is kind of easy, but it's also vast. Okay, so I will explain about your paint bucket tool. Now see, I will just draw a rectangle box and I'll extrude it. Okay, I will press B. B is my paint bucket tool. If I press the paint bucket tool gets activated, but you guys will also notice something. As soon as you press B in your default tray, the materials tab also pops up. Okay, so that means now your paint bucket tool is activated and your materials tab is also ready. Now you guys can go over here. Do you see the down arrow key? Press the down arrow key and you'll see a bunch of options. You can choose whichever, you know, uh, thing that you want, like material that you want over here. You have landscape, bricks, glass, stone, whatever. You can select anything and you can apply it. Now, how I'll show you. I'll just choose my colors over here. I will select a color. Let's say this. I will left click on a surface and as you can see, the color has been applied. Okay. Sorry. Select a color, left click on a surface, the color has been applied. If I want to color the rest of the things, I can just click on multiple surfaces and as you can see, everything gets colored. But don't you think this method takes time? Imagine if you guys have much more complicated surface. How will you color the entire thing? If you keep coloring one surface at a time, it will get very complicated. So what is an easier solution for this? Now look, if you want to color the entire rectangular box in one go, what you have to do is select a color, press and hold your control button, left click, and as you can see in one go, the entire block gets painted. Choose a color, press and hold your control button, left click, and everything gets painted in one go. Okay, so this is very effective, but this also has a small drawback. Now look, what if you guys have multiple surfaces like this? If you choose that color, press control and click on every one of them. Even in this scenario, do you see it takes time to sit and color all of them one by one, right? Why? Because there are multiple surfaces over here. So pressing control all the time isn't effective. So if I want to color the entire thing in one go, what do I press? You will press and hold your shift button. Now look, select a material, press and hold your shift button, click once, and there you go. In one go, the entire block has been painted. Okay. Select the color, press and hold your shift button, left click, and in one go, your entire block has been painted. Okay. Now, now look, this way you guys can shift paint the entire thing or control paint. So you guys must have understood the difference. If you control paint, you can only paint one block at a time. But if you shift paint, you can block or color the entire thing in one go. Okay. Now, is everyone clear with this? Does anyone have any doubt between your shift paint and control paint? Yes, tell me.
So, so if the surfaces are open, like these boxes have different faces, it is easy to access for doing like shift and control option in there.
Wait.
But what if the surfaces are like, let's say, a room? If I selected a furniture, so will the color will also apply on furniture and walls at the same time?
Okay. I'll come to that. Okay. See, I understood your question. I'll come to
Okay.
that. Okay. Yes, Manpreet sir.
If we use the shift and the color object, then it color the same object of same size, or it will color the entire one.
It will color everything. Now I'll show you over here. Okay. Now these are all rectangular objects. I'll draw a polygon tool like this. I'll draw a hexagon first. I'll draw a circle, all of random sizes like this. Okay. Then maybe I'll draw an arc. And then this also I'll push pull. Now see, 1 second. I will just select this. Now look, all of them are of the same material. I'll choose a color. I will press and hold my shift button and I'll click on a surface. See, no matter what shape, what happens, all of it will get colored. If you press shift, no matter what, as long as it's of the same material,
that 3D gets colored in the same
yeah.
color.
Okay. Now, if it's a single object, you just have to press control and then paint using anything. So you can select and paint one block at a time. Okay. Now,
but if we want the cube boxes only get rendered in the single color and the others are in different, then how can we do?
you want to color only this and then change this to a different color. That's what you're asking, right?
I'm asking that if we do the cube ones the same color and the entire things are on different color.
Okay, you can do that too. You just have to select them and color them separately. Okay, so I will again come to all those points. So anyway, since you asked, I'll show you. Select this entire block. You click over here, choose a color and you paint. You see, now this ones are separate colored, and then click on other color, press your shift and paint, and there you go. You can do it. Okay, so all the cubes alone got painted with one color. The rest got colored separately. There's another method where if you use your group and components also, if you use components, technically, you can solve this issue. So that is something I would teach tomorrow. Okay. But now our main intention is to teach everyone or understand the basic difference between materials and how it works in SketchUp. Now, okay. So look, I'll just come back to our topic. Now for the others, guys, don't worry. Listen. Earlier I showed you, if you press shift and if you click, everything gets colored. But there is also a slight variation to it, guys. Look. Let's say, you see the top part over here, it has a different material. The bottom has a different material. Okay. So if you choose another color, let's say this yellow, if I press and hold my shift button and if I left click, do you see what happens? Only the bottom parts gets colored, not the top one. Why? SketchUp understands them as two different materials. Okay. SketchUp can only work with a material at a time. So when you choose a color, press shift and click, only that one material is changed. Doesn't matter which position or which material, which object it is on. If the material, now let's say I will just draw a circle over here and push pull this. I'll draw another polygon over here. Okay, and I'll push pull this. Now look, I will just select this and paint a surface like this on top. Whereas this one, as you can see, I'll just color it like this. Now look, if I click on a dark color, press shift, doesn't matter what shape it is, as long as it's the same material. If you left click, do you see what happens? All of it will get painted. The key factor over here is your material. Your material should be the same. Only then will everything get painted. Otherwise, okay, if it's not of the same material and all, you guys will either have to make it a separate material or like choose this alone, then paint it separately, and then you guys can work on the other one also. Anyway, this is the basic concept of it. SketchUp understands one material at a time. If you want to shift color it or control color it, you choose one material at a time and you change it. Otherwise, if you want to change the entire thing in one go, you have to select the entire thing, choose a color, and then click, and everything gets painted. Okay. So this is all about the painting tool. Does anyone have any doubt regarding this so far? Now, Sanitya, your doubt, okay, I'll also cover tomorrow's class. Okay, in tomorrow's class, when we learn about group and components, you'll get a better idea of your doubt also. Okay. Yeah. Anyone else? It's clear for everyone, right? Okay, perfect. Then guys, I'll teach you the next thing. Okay. Now with your paint bucket tool, there are a couple of other things also you can do. Now see, if you press B, your paint bucket tool is activated, right? But after pressing B, if you press and hold your Alt button, do you see the picker tool gets activated? Press B, press and hold your Alt button, the picker tool gets activated. You have to press and hold the Alt button, and only then the picker tool will get activated. Okay. The same thing you can find over here in your materials tab also. You select this, your picker tool has been selected. Now, what does the picker tool do? Now, see guys, I'll just show you something. Just applied a bunch of random colors over here. I see everything has a different color. I'll press B. I'll press and hold my Alt button. Now look at the right side bottom. Material right now is on this purple. I want to choose this pink. Okay. To find this pink among these colors is very hard, right? So what will you guys do? All you have to do is press B, press and hold your Alt button, click on the surface, and that pink gets selected. So you guys don't have to sit and search over here. Like that, you can choose any color like this. Just by pressing and holding your Alt button, you can choose and find any color which is on your surface or on your screen right now. Okay. So that is how you do with your materials, or how you pick a material and find out what to do with it. Another thing that you guys can do. 1 second. Now look. If you guys want to find the area. Okay, let's say you have a block like this. How are you going to find the area of the surface? Very simple. Click on a surface, go to entity info, and you can find the area of it. Okay. Right now I'm working in square feet and inches, which is I'm getting the area in square feet. You guys can go over here, model info, change it also from architectural to decimal if you want it in meter square, square meter, whichever. Okay. But if you guys have the latest version of SketchUp, you also have another cool feature. If you guys work in centimeters, meters, but you want area to be in feet, like square feet and all, go down to area over here, change it to square feet. And now, even though you're working in centimeters, if you select it in your entity info, you'll be able to see it in square feet. Okay. This is how you find the area of one surface. What if you want to find the area of all these surfaces? What will you do? You will right click, and then after that you will go to this option called area and choose material. And do you see what happens? The area of all these fluorescent green colors will get calculated. See, right now it's 2611, right? So we know if I click on one selection, the area of it is come. So let's do one thing. I'll press and hold my control button. I'll select all these surfaces and you see it's the same area. Okay. Right click, area, click on material. You can find the area of the walls or the surfaces with the same material. Okay. Now, if you want to find the area of these yellow ones, you can do that too. Right click, go to area, choose material, and you'll see the total area of all the surfaces painted in yellow. Okay. Now, this is how you calculate your area. Now, with this, guys, you're almost done with the paint bucket tool. Now, one more thing which I can show you guys is, now let's say 1 second. Oh, wait, I'll show you that assignment. Yeah. So with this, guys, the basic paint bucket tool stuff is over. Now, next, what I'll explain is about your assignment topic. So every day we will have an assignment. Okay. That's how we work over here normally. We have an assignment, and the assignment topic won't be hard. It'll be something that we do over here. Okay. I will show you in class how to do the assignment. You guys just have to go back home and try it out by yourself. Okay. Won't be anything complicated, but I want everyone to pay attention over here very carefully. I will not, repeat, or I will not let you guys ask me any question while I'm talking about the assignment. I will want you guys to look what I'm doing, try it out by yourself first. If you try out after class by yourself and you're not getting it, then second, go to the video recording. The video recording will be uploaded in the drive, so you can always refer to the video recording. Now, after you go through the video recording and you still can't get it, then you guys can message me. My number is there in the group. Okay. My name is Akshay. You guys can message me and I'll try helping you out whenever I can. Only problem is I teach like 5 to 6 batches a day. So I have back-to-back classes. So I might not be always able or available all the time. So you guys will have to message me first and ask me. And then I will say, I'll give a time so we can all sit together and maybe discuss if you have a doubt. But small doubts, I can help you guys out the next day after class. If it's like a very big doubt or something, I can sit with you guys later on. Okay, but please do message me first. Now, with that being said, I'll show you the assignment topic for today. It's a very simple thing. We'll be creating a material. Okay. Now, how to do that? Look. First, draw a rectangle. Click at a point. You start stretching it. And you see now you made a basic rectangle of any size or any shape. That's up to you. Next, what I'm about to do is I will press F. F is the shortcut for your offset tool. If you press F, the offset tool gets selected, and then you'll just make an offset over here. Go inside the surface, click, make a slight offset like this. If you want, you can enter a value, 20, enter. You'll make an offset of 20 centimeters. Make an offset, then press press P for your push-pull tool. Click on the outer edge and raise it to a height. Let's say this. Now, this and all is up to you guys. You can make a wall of any size, whatever, that's up to you. But make a wall like this. Press a rectangle, draw an offset, push and pull the wall. Now, once this is done, you guys can just go apply any material that you like. Let's say I'll click over here. I'll press shift or I'll press control, whichever, doesn't matter. It works the same way. I'll go over here, choose a tile, choose any material, and I'll click over here. So now you have a basic wall and a tile material made. Next, what I'm about to do is, one second. Next, what I want you guys to do is go to your Chrome or your Safari, whatever. Type wallpaper, go to your images and choose any wallpaper of your liking. Now look, in your 3D model, this is in landscape. It is not in portrait. So try downloading an image that is in landscape itself. Choose any image. You like this image, right click, press save image as, download it. Okay. After that, what I want you guys to do is now go to your materials tray. In your materials tray, come down over here. First, set your material to default. After you set your material to default, you will click on the create material option. Okay. After you press your create material, next, what you will do is you will come down over here to your folder tab. Go to downloads, wherever you download the image, choose the image, press open. Okay. After you press open, you can rename it over here. Let's say wallpaper, whatever, press OK. Don't change any value or color over here. Just press OK. So now your wallpaper has been imported or created as a material inside of SketchUp. Next, you will click over here and left click on the surface. And as you can see, the image has been painted, but there is a big problem. You see what the problem is? Technically, my image is only this much, but a copy of it has been placed multiple times like a tile format. How do you fix this? So you can fix it in two ways. Step number one is select this material, go to edit, come down in your texture. You will see a thing called, see, this is your height and width of your image. Now, this is normally kept at locked. Leave it at locked itself. And you guys try increasing the image size. Now I'll just add a 0 to it. So it's increased to 100. And see what happens. Your image has been increased in size. Either over here, you can try changing the value. But another easier method is once you increase the image size, now it's very visible, right? Right click, go to texture, press position. After you press position, you will have 4 pins on your screen. Okay. Now what do all these 4 pins do? Look, I will left click, hold my red pin and then drag it down because my red pin is my move tool. Next is your green pin. Press and hold your green pin. What does the green pin do? It will scale. At the same time, it will also rotate. So now I'll just scale the image like over here and place it at the other point. Next is your blue pin. Click over here. You can drag left or right. This is for shearing and you can scale it with it. So I'll just scale it slightly and place it on this corner edge. The last pin, which is your yellow pin, you use it for distortion of a perspective. Okay. So I'll adjust the perspective, place it over here. Then once you're done, press right click, press done. And there you go. Your wallpaper has been imported inside your model. Now, once again, I'll repeat the entire step. I will first set this to default and then I will press create material. Go down to this folder icon, choose an image, press open, rename it over here and I'll import it. Press OK. Now the wallpaper has been imported. Click. I'll apply it over here on this wall. And if you guys want, you can straight away right click, texture, position, and you can increase it. But since you guys are very new to it, or at least most of you are new to it, click over here, go to edit, just increase the size of it slightly so you guys get better control of your pins. Then right click, texture, position. Then you guys can adjust your image any way you like. Position it like this. If you want, you click center of your image. You can also drag it around like this, whichever up to your wish. Once you're done, right click, press done, and there you go. You have created your material and you created your wallpaper also. Okay. So this is your assignment for today. So remember guys, I want all of you to try this out by yourself. You will have to, as soon as class is done, go back, try this out by yourself. After that, if you guys still didn't understand, watch the video recording. Even then, if you didn't understand, then only you can ask me a doubt. Okay. Now, other than the assignment topic, does anyone else have